you might have seen in past videos, our dining room is basically a dumping ground. And it's been that way since the day we moved in. There are 101 projects going on around here at any given time, and since the dining room is not a space that we use often or ever really, this was the logical place to just dump everything. It's driving me nuts, so today we're going to take a small step towards solving that problem by refinishing this dresser. You might also know from a recent video that I posted on crafting that my nieces are having a baby, and we're very excited about that. But one thing they do need is a changing table and a little extra storage. Enter David's father's dresser. We're so happy we get to keep this in the family and give it a life that it deserves. It's in fantastic condition. It just needs a little bit of work. So you can see I've already removed one drawer. I'm using that as a prototype for how I'm going to do the rest of the drawers, and it's based on this image here that I found on my never-ending scroll on Pinterest, but we'll get into that later. I'm going to be using Debbie's Design Diary DIY paint in the color Vintage Linen. Now, I've never used this paint before, but I've been aware of it for years. And a commenter on, I believe it was on the guest room makeover, mentioned that I would love it. So I was excited to find it at our local antique market. There's a vendor's booth there that sells it. So I picked some up on our last trip there, and that's what we're going to use for the base of the dresser. So let's get started. Literally a week and a half later. Let's talk about the drawers. So I don't remember if I mentioned this at the beginning, but they originally wanted, my nieces originally wanted wood. They wanted just a sort of a raw stained wood to go with another dresser that they have in the bedroom that they stripped and finished. But this dresser really would be difficult to achieve that. I don't know what kind of wood or veneer it is or what, but it's got that red stain on it, like from, I guess you see a lot in the 1950s or 60s that looked like it was drawn from Satan's veins. Just that really deep, deep red that was so down in the grains that, and it just bleeds through. Fortunately, this time with this coat of paint that I put on the body, I think it's got enough coats of other stuff on there that it's not gonna bleed through. But I wanted to give them some wood somehow on the drawers. So I started going through Pinterest and I came across an image that I'll link. And it was, well, as you can see, it's chevron, wood chevron. And I thought, I can do that. So I started trying to come up with all different ways that I was gonna do this to the drawers. But I knew I wanted some wood and I wanted some dimension. So it occurred to me, wood shims. And so that's what I've done. And it is, I don't know if I'm gonna explain this in in a way that's gonna make sense. But in my mind, it's a chevron pattern, but in 3D, and it's probably called something else. It's sort of basket weave. I've gotten 2 drawers done because I wanted to practice, and I'm happy with both of them, but I'm learning something different every drawer I do. So by the end, they'll all have the same overall, I guess you'd call it structure, but there's probably gonna be some differences in all of them just because of the techniques that I'm doing different with either one, but I'm okay with that because I think it's gonna look beautiful. So let's take a look at what the drawers looked like before, and I'll show you some of the ones that I've already done, and then we'll do one together, and then I'll knock the rest out, and then I can get on to staining them. So this is what the drawer looked like before. It's just your basic flat panel, but then it's got these ridges in it right here. So I took off the handle and I found the center horizontally and vertically, and then just drew myself a grid. Now, yes, I understand that these inside parts or grids aren't the same size as the outside, but I'm perfectly okay with that. I really, in fact, I think it looks pretty cool that way. And then what I'll do, and I'll show you an example in just a minute, what I'll do is I will layer the popsicle sticks, the shims at opposing angles. So one will go like that, and one will go like that. And then where it will change will be at these grid lines where these two will meet, and then the lower portions will meet. Now remember, these are not completely finished. They're just glued on and filled. So for this one, I'm happy with how it turned out. And to fill the gaps, I mixed up a combination of sawdust and wood glue and filled that in. I don't know how happy I am with it. I'm gonna try on the second one just using wood filler. You can see what I'm talking about here, the angle and the texture. So it's up, down, up, down, up, down. And I just think, I don't know, I think it looks really, really cool. This is the one that I just finished putting together that I haven't filled in any of the gaps or sanded yet. And actually I kind of like how it looks too. I'm interested to see the difference in everything I try once I get the stain on. Okay, let me show you how I've been doing it. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to look at my fat legs because this is the best angle I think to see it. And I've discovered that it works better if I'm sitting in a chair and can look down on it. One tool that's been really helpful for me is just a straight blade so that I can line up the top and on this gap right here. And I just run the straight blade up under there. Oh, that was easy. That one's ready. So I want to mention a couple of things. I'm putting these on with just wood glue. Another thing, the first shims that I found were from Home Depot, and they were just a little bit wider. And so what that meant was I was gonna have to either cut one almost completely in half this way, or really that was my only option. And so to do that, I would have either had to again use my miter saw or use a jigsaw. So I shopped around and I found the ones that I ended up getting. These are the Project Source. These are the Lowe's brand. And I am still gonna have to sand around the edges on the top and bottom, but I'm talking, it's just like less than 1 millimeter that I'm gonna have to sand off the top and bottom, not even the top, just one edge. just so that these drawers can close, because they do nearly touch when they close. But I've literally done this with a pencil, or in my case a straight blade, but a pencil would work fine, a pair of scissors, and some glue. Okay, it's the next day and we're back. Today I'm going to focus on filling in the gaps between each piece of shim. I'm not worried about the horizontal gaps. It's just these vertical gaps that I'm worried about filling in. What I'm using is trusty old plastic wood. Okay, this literally takes like 5 minutes, not even. And I just use my finger and I go in there and I push it in all those gaps, and a little goes a long way. Kind of just massage it back and forth in both directions to be sure it's getting all the way down in there. It's kind of akin to grouting a tile floor. Just want to push it in those joints. Okay, they're all filled in, and this part's pretty messy, but I just rub it with my finger, get as much off of the outside surface as I can. And the last thing I do is take a wet paper towel and just go over all the surfaces, getting everything off the wood out here that I can. Again, this is going to be sanded later, but it will make that job a little bit easier. Okay, the stain has been procured. They wanted a light wood, and so I chose two colors, golden pecan, and I ultimately landed on Ipswich pine. It's, I don't know, I'll let you look at it. I've already done one drawer, I'm working on the second one, and quite honestly, I have to say there's not a huge difference between how the stain is looking on the sawdust and glue versus the wood filler. The wood filler was a lot easier. So let's get to staining. We'll put on the knobs and then the dresser will be done. Down to the bibbity bobs. These are the handles that they picked out. Very simple, black metal. These are from Amazon, and I'll link them below. This one actually has a little scratch on it. There we go, not a scratch. But I'll link them below. And the crib is black metal, which is why they went for this. And I think it's gonna look so good. So let me get these put on, and then we'll see what it looks like finished. You guys, this might be one of the coolest things I've ever made. I'm so proud of it. I love how it turned out. It's exactly as it was in my head. And it was cheap. I spent a total of, let's see, I used 17 packs of wood shims at 35 cents a pack. So that's what, like $7 maybe? Quick math, that's probably way off. $13 for the paint and $8 for the stain. And I couldn't be more thrilled. I'm gonna do this for sure on something else. I don't know if it'll be a dresser, I don't know if it'll be a table, an art piece, but this was so much fun and it was so easy. The only thing I still have left to do besides a little bit of touch up on the edge of the drawers is there's one spot where Satan's blood is still coming through. I have done everything over the years to get rid of that. So if you have any tips, let me know. I've tried shellac, I've tried primer, I've tried lacquer, I've tried sanding it till there's almost a hole in it. I think my next thing I'm gonna try is just covering it up with some wood putty and then painting over it. I don't know, we'll see if it works. But if you have any tips, let me know. Anyway, you guys, thanks for coming along. I hope you'll come back in a couple of weeks and see the room makeover. It's gonna be so cute. We're about halfway done. So I'll be posting that within the next few weeks. We've got a few more things to do. So I hope you will come back for that. And some other projects we've got to go, blah, 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 blah. I hope you'll come back for that and some other projects we've got going on. Next up in our house, bathroom remodel, and that's scary, but I'm doing all of it myself, with the exception of changing out the pipes under the sink, which are not big enough, I found out. So yeah, stick around for that. I hope you'll come back. I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I appreciate you very much for taking the time out of your day to spend a little time with me doing a project. And I will see you next time. Bye.